Hello. Oh my God, I'm so pumped for today's conversation. Okay, as you guys know, this is Tuesdays with Audra. It's a live stream show on Facebook here where we sit down with local business owners and really just have a chat about what's going on in their business, what they're doing in the community, what they've needed to do to pivot their business through all the things that are going on. And so I'm Audra Fournier. Obviously, I'm a local business owner. I'm a professional certified life and master business coach. I'm a publisher. I do all kinds of stuff, but I'm so excited to bring Barby Moro from RedEye Coffee to you guys. But first I want to introduce Christy Souders. She is the one that makes the live stream happen. And without her help, I certainly would not be able to do this. So if anybody's looking for live stream help, Christy is your go-to person. She's going to step in kind of the back of house over there and make sure that we bring up websites and answer all of your questions. So post them in the comments below. All right, so this is episode number 10, and today we're talking about building communities through coffee. So welcome, Barby, and I am so excited to have you here.
Hey, thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I just want to continue the conversation that we were having in the back, but first, if you guys don't know who Barby is, then you need to know who she is. She's the CEO of RedEye Coffee here in Tallahassee, and Barby, will you kind of give us a little bit of background? How did you get into coffee?
Oh my God. So first, right, I'm Cuban, so I've always been into coffee. like you're born into coffee, right?
Right.
But so I think for me, it's probably been more so that I've always been into service. So I've always very much tried to align whatever it is I might be doing professionally in my life to serving others in some way, shape, or form, trying to make something better than I found it, right? And so I've got a couple degrees from FSU. I've got a master's in emotional disturbances and learning disabilities, and so I was a teacher for several years. And I have I've got an MPA, a master's in public administration, and I specialize in strategic leadership and nonprofit management. And so probably like the biggest, the thing that's taken of just a substantial little chunk of my professional life that I always think about fondly was my time at Southern Scholarship Foundation. So I was the director of student affairs there. And then I was also interim president and CEO. And I think I was there for a total of 7.5, almost 8 years. Prior to that, I worked very closely with my mentor, 𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐢𝐭, and helped started the Oasis Center for Women and Girls. And I created their Girls Can Do Anything program, which I believe is now entering its 11th year or 10th year. It's really great. Yeah. And so I've always just kind of tried to be in it's been mostly in the nonprofit field, right? The nonprofit world, but serving others. And so anyways, fast forward to that. And through a mutual friend, I actually got to meet Mark McNeese, Dr. Mark McNeese, who is the founder and CEO of RedEye Coffee. And so I got to meet him, and he was like, oh, like we've got this position available, and I interviewed for it, and it just kind of happened in like a very Tallahassee way. But what really attracted me to RedEye was the fact that it's a social impact company, right? Like what really attracted me to RedEye was the mission. Yeah. So I grew up in South Florida, and I grew up around a lot of migrant workers. I knew a lot of farmers. I knew a lot of people that are part of systemic cycles of oppression and do not get paid fairly for their labor, right? Right. And so the idea that RedEye was this business, this company, right? This for-profit company with a nonprofit mission, right? Who's really trying to make a difference and positively impact the lives of others, and treat and pay people fairly along the way was just a really attractive opportunity for me, and one that I couldn't pass out. I couldn't pass down. So
Yeah.
Like how it all happened.
And with coffee. And with coffee. It's like it was meant for you.
Yeah. So I've learned so much in the past couple of years here. It's the journey itself has been really exciting and really fun. And I'm just really grateful.
And then just, throw in a pandemic and some murder hornets and some hurricanes. You'll be fine.
Okay. So here's the thing. This is the thing that everybody keeps telling me. So, I transitioned to CEO in January of 2020, and it was like, woo, yeah. And so on a personal note, I was a doctoral student at the University of Florida, and I was majoring in higher education leadership. And so I left my doctoral program. I was ABD. I left my doctoral program to be able to fully dedicate myself as CEO of RedEye. So that was like a big leap, right?
That is a very big leap.
For my family, after sacrificing a lot, like to get there. And so January comes, like, okay, cool. And then a pandemic. And I was just like,
really?
And everybody's like, oh, you're the perfect leader for this. Like, if you can get through this, you can get through anything. And I'm like, couldn't I? I mean,
at least have a honeymoon period. Come on.
Couldn't I have gotten another test? Right? Like, is this I didn't want this test. Give me another test.
I did not sign up for this.
Yeah. And so it's definitely been a journey. But like, what has tripped me out beyond belief is how this community shows up. And I shouldn't be surprised because we see it like every year after we're hit with like this crazy hurricanes, right? Our community comes together. We come together for other communities. We come back stronger. And so I really shouldn't be surprised. It's really been a beautiful thing. And I've been able to meet some phenomenal people and make some awesome relationships based on this. So.
And this is really kind of the mainstay of the conversation that I want to have today. I mean, you and I did shop tally quite a couple of months back or whatever. Yeah. And the conversation, which now makes so much sense, being from the nonprofit field, from leadership, which is obviously, dear to my heart as a business coach, but is your connectivity with the community and what the conversation and the doors that you've opened over the last couple of months through this whole pandemic for yourself and for RedEye and your entire team has just been phenomenal. So can you give us just a little bit of a rundown of a few of the things that you guys have done over the last few months in really connecting with the community? And then we'll talk about, kind of your plans moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. So I think probably the first thing to put it into context is that, I believe in people. Like, I think that is the thing that I believe in the most, like with all my heart, is I believe in the goodness of people. And so anything that I ever try to start or just kind of like go in that direction, it's always with good intentions and assuming the good of the other person on the other side, which I think is why we end up getting somewhat more favorable results, right? Mm-hmm. So let's see. Oh my gosh. So in order.
Just timeline it for us.
I know. Word of the pandemic started, right? And so then RedEye shifted to be like this like makeshift drive-through. You can just drive up and get like the $6 muffin and cup of coffee and like be on your way, right? And then we decided to close down. So we needed to close down for 2 weeks to just kind of like keep everyone safe. At the time, we thought that was the direction that everybody was heading in anyway. So we felt that it was a responsible decision at the time. Still do. I stand by it. Still do. Mm-hmm. And then two, to like game plan, to be like, okay, like
what's happening next?
What is happening? What does this look like? And then talking to the team, like me just being able to talk to the team, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think, like in my brain, right? We need buy-in by everybody. And so We closed for 2 weeks. Well, then this is what, like, listen to how magical this was. So we closed for 2 weeks, and I was crazy concerned about our staff because we were not in the position to be able to pay everybody what they normally would have made anyways. Like, you know, most restaurants will tell you, most eateries, cafes, coffee, stuff like that will tell you that it's, you know, it's month to month, maybe month and a half, right? If you have a good month, like, it just depends. And so we weren't in the position to do that. And I thought, well, what if I just put together these tip jars, right? I put together baskets filled with really cool stuff that then instead of, because what we saw a lot of people doing was putting up like these links of like, hey, GoFundMe, like help support the staff, which I contributed to and I thought like was really, really cool. But I'm also like, so giving gifts, right, is like a love language of mine. It's how I express gratitude and stuff. So I was like, well, I want to be able to gift people something, not just a thank you note, but like something to say thank you. So I was like, what if they just got these little gift baskets? So I went around and I asked other business owners who were also going through it, hey, this is something that I'm trying to do with the staff. Do you have something that you'd like to contribute? I totally get it if the answer is no. Just throwing it out there. Mm-hmm. Every single one gave. And as a result of those tip baskets, not only did they all sell out, but we were able to give everybody money during those 2 weeks to help keep them going until their next official paycheck.
So important.
That was amazing. And then from that, one of like the super just relationships that I am incredibly thankful for is actually Chef Nikki. And I always, like, the running joke is that I always want to like make her name Hispanic. I'm always like, oh, Petinillo. And it's like, I think it's Patino or anyway. So Chef Nikki, look her up. Chef Nikki Talks Food. She's amazing. But she was one of the people who contributed to the baskets and she did it for free. Like, she gave us like 30 jars of her seasoning. And she was like, you know, I've been a server. I know what that life is like. Like, here you go. Hopefully even though she had just lost her job, like she had just been furloughed by Cisco. And so like, to me, that level of giving was just phenomenal. And then I know that she was doing her Chef Nikki Talks Food videos. Mm-hmm. So in that conversation, I was like, yo, like,
what if we, you know,
what if we had some meal kits, right? Like, what if it was like, Hello Fresh, but like, hello Chef Nikki, right? Like, or something. And so we collaborated. And so literally like the idea happened while talking it in like the front of her house while I was collecting these jars, right?
Yeah.
I think my kid was like in the back seat. Like, it was just, you know, it was quarantine craziness.
Distance by 6 feet. You're just like, I'm
like, oh, my germs, chill, you know, whatever, all that stuff. This was before face masks and everything. And so that lasted for 11 weeks. 11 weeks, and we sold out. And through that, we not only like did we do the meal kits, we did a partnership with Leon County Schools, and we did like a culinary lesson with students. 1 week we were able to, all the proceeds went to the Black Lives Matter movement and went to Equality Florida. We
did one where you delivered like 600 cups of coffee to like Capital Regional, and then like 2 weeks later you did a TMH. And so then that's another thing that we started doing was people were coming, they're like, oh, I want to buy this cup of coffee for this person doing this good thing, right? Yeah. Like just so-and-so. And we were like, yeah. And that's so awesome. And they're like, oh, don't you have a spot in CRMC, Capital Regional Medical Center? Could we do something nice for like the nurses there? Or could we? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll do you one better. And so we established this part of our website that is called Local Giving. And it's dedicated solely to all these different healthcare heroes. Excuse me. Basically like just taking care of people, right? During like this crazy time. While they're taking care of everyone else.
While they're taking care of everyone else. Yeah. So we've done stuff with CRMC, which was the 600 muffins and coffees in the morning and like 400 at night. It was an insane day. We've done it with TMH, and then we also included like all these like gallons of cold brew. We've done it with the public safety complex, EMS, first responders, all that stuff. And then yesterday, oh my gosh, so much fun. Yesterday, was the first day of our community giving with FAMU, the FAMU Bragg Memorial Stadium testing site, the COVID testing site, which that's actually a really, really fun story of how we got there, because it was from a staff member. And so part of like our internal procedures at RedEye is if anybody leaves Tallahassee and like enters a community or a location that's like high risk COVID, we just ask that when they come back that they get retested, right? So like everyone's been tested and we basically retest as needed. And so we had a staff member who got retested and she was at Bragg, and she texted me from Bragg and she was like, hey, I'm here and like it is hot and these workers are out here and they're doing it and like people are being rude and like there's so many people. Could we just give them a couple of like, she asked, she goes, can I buy some iced tea for them? And I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, I don't know who. She's like, I think you know everybody. So I feel like you'll be able to figure this out. I was like, I don't know everybody, but I know someone who knows who's in charge of this. So hold on one second. And so I posted it on Facebook. I said, hey, does anyone know anyone who's connected with the FAMU testing site? Would love to send some like RedEye love their way. And originally I told our employee that whatever she bought, RedEye would match. And it blew up. Everybody started giving. And then on that same thread, Viet Vu, who's with Arepana Latin Grill, and he's also with Proper, he was like, yo, like I'm down. Just let me know. And I would love to contribute some lunches too. And so I was like, oh my gosh, how great. And so within like, it was only like 1 or 2 hours, I was texting with Dean Harris and with Miss Cynthia Cummings about like the logistics of the FAMU testing site. I was texting with Viet about like, yo, like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And yesterday we donated. Well, so yesterday we delivered the cold brew. We had sweet tea, and we had the arepana lunches. Did the same thing today, and then next Monday we're gonna be doing something like 4 dozen muffins or something crazy at 9 a.m. And then Justine May, Harold Craft House reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to add lunches too for next week. So it's just like so much love. So
it is.
Yeah.
I love this. And you've created this whole environment because your tagline or whatever is, local coffee with global impact and things like that. But you're bringing that all the way back around to it's just local. And that's just so much love.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So something that we have at the bottom of our coffee bags is we have the hashtag #IHeartTally. And on the back of our coffee sleeves, it actually says like more than just a hashtag. And so it really is that for us here. Like it's all about the people first, people before profit, people before anything else. Like it is all about the people. And RedEye is nothing without the people, right? And so so much of what we do is driven by that, and is driven out of this like air of generosity, and how can we help uplift each other during some really scary and sad and heartbreaking times, right? Like there's a lot of ugly in this world, so why not add some beauty to it?
Absolutely. And show the love. And, when we made decisions in the beginning of, all this COVID situation, like you were talking about, you shut down for 2 weeks. Well, at that time, you didn't know how long this situation was going to impact us. You thought 2 weeks. This is going to be serious. 2 weeks, that's a long time. And we've been in this since the beginning of March. And so that was, I know, right? That was a drop in the bucket in comparison to, all the different degrees that we as business owners have had to go through. But one thing I have to say from a business perspective, you have an incredible speed of implementation. Like a lot of, people that run businesses, CEOs, business owners, individuals, solo entrepreneurs, whatever, they have to sit and then mull about it. Well, I don't know. How's that going to impact this? And and you're like, let's do it. Let's go. Like, get going.
Listen,
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, what's the worst that can happen, right? Like the worst that can happen is that it doesn't work, and then we learn, and then we can either make it better or like not. Like we're about to launch something. You're ready for this exclusive? It'll go live tomorrow. But we're about to launch something in collaboration with street chefs. And so it's called the Breakfast Club.
Oh my God. So cool.
It's breakfast delivery basically, right? But it's their food and our coffee delivered to your doorstep. And so it's similar to the Tipsy Truck model that was set up so well by Tally Mac Shack and Madison Social. But it's a little twist. So we don't have alcohol, but it's breakfast and it's cold brew and it's your sweet tea and it's these amazing cinnamon rolls. And like, I mean, that's honestly, when I was in quarantine, I was thinking like, man, what would I give for like breakfast to just like be there? Like, I don't have to just be there, right? And so, and we're directly delivering it, so it's not a third party delivery, and it's just another collaboration of, because here's the big thing throughout this whole time, I have felt this sense of responsibility, like if RedEye is gonna make it, and we are, but at the time, like I was thinking, like if RedEye is gonna make it, I don't want it to be at the expense of others. Like if we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it with a bunch of other people and like linking arms and like trudging through the mud together, right? Yeah. And so that was the idea with Chef Nikki. That's the idea now with street chefs. Like everybody's hurting. So what's a way that we can collaborate and help lift each other up? Yeah. And so that's what we're really excited for with the Breakfast Club. It's their delicious frittatas, which she calls 𝐂𝐭 frittatas. How freaking cute is that? 𝐂𝐭 frittatas.
That is adorable.
Adorable. And then we've got our cold brew. We've got our specialty teas. We've got just different options. We're adding bag coffee. Maybe you want freshly ground bag coffee delivered to your doorstep, like, right?
So how do we keep track of what neighborhoods and how we...
Yeah. And so it'll be listed on our website. So when you go to redeyecoffee.com and you can click on the Breakfast Club, tomorrow when it goes live, it'll be like on our actual landing page as well. And then social media, right? So it's great. Instagram, Facebook, we'll always be posting on it and stuff like that, where we are. So, and I only mentioned this because you talked about like speed of implementation. So this is it's new for both of us. It's different. So there's bound to be some bumps. But we're really stoked about it and we believe in it and we think it could be something fun that people would enjoy. And it's just something that we're excited to be able to present and to do.
That is so exciting. Yeah. To have that delivered. What?
Right? And street shops, like, hello, their food is amazing.
Yes, I met her. We did a career panel at 𝐒𝐨𝐧𝐬 once, and she explained kind of her vision behind street chefs and why she was so passionate about it. And I'm all about supporting.
Yeah, chef work is awesome. Yeah.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So, in addition to collaborations and things like that, are there any other major pivots that you've had to do as a business owner during all of this? I mean, there's a lot of pivots that we've been talking about and, collaborating and reaching out into the community and all of that stuff. But have you had to change your mindset a little bit going through all of this as a CEO?
Oh gosh, as CEO of like 2 months, right? Before.
Yes. Well, you're an interim CEO.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I had to throw a couple of coaching questions in there, just to like talk about mindset a little bit.
Yeah. So I think for me, what rings really, really true is that there is so much you can't control, right? Like there is so much that is outside of my realm of control that if I think about it or focus on it, you go a little crazy, right? And so for me, what I have just focused in on repeatedly is I can't control what happens, but I can control how I show up. I can control how I show up as a boss. I can control how I show up as a community leader, as a community servant and volunteer. I can control how I show up as a colleague and as a peer. Mm-hmm. And so this is how I choose to show up. I choose to show up in service of others. I choose to show up with a listening heart, and an able body and an able mind, right? Like, there's been some people that have just called me and they're like, I just need a vet and I just need it. And I'm like, okay, do it. And then I just cheer for them, right?
Yeah.
we, you know, a lot of times when people, especially like in the coffee world a little bit, there's like this coffee competition or coffee wars or like jibby or like whatever. And so, which might be true for like a lot of people, like that's not true for me. And it's also not like, because I'm an outsider, right? I was brought into this from this nonprofit world that's all about collaboration. So I'm actually really, really proud to say that like, we're totally cool with 𝐒𝐿𝐭. We're totally cool with Journeyman Coffee. We're totally cool with Paper Fox Coffee, right? Like we're just cool, like awesome. Like if you love coffee. And there's a lot of places to love coffee in Tallahassee. And so I use that as just an example. It's like another way that I just choose to show up in this space with what I can control. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing as a CEO is you definitely feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. So you have to focus on what matters most.
Oh, I want to like reach through the computer and like hug you right now. I think that's awesome. And you know, I do. And you're right. I mean, I spoke at a youth summit a couple of weeks ago and talking about entrepreneurship to young people and about how competition is actually good, because if you set up a lemonade stand and somebody gets an inspiration from your lemonade stand to slightly alter lemonade stands, there's not a finite number of people that like lemonade. You're simply telling the world that lemonade is good. So now your potential target market just grows. And we all work in this space together. And as long as you're pushing forward with a mission of, you know, love and community and togetherness, then all people everywhere should drink coffee. You know, I think that you bring a very special heart from your nonprofit into a you know, for-profit company that acts like a nonprofit in that it collaborates with the rest of the community. I think that's beautiful. Is there anything else that you want to say? And then I have a couple of random questions that are not business related.
Oh, fun. A random question.
Yes.
Anything else I want to say? So I will say this. We had to unfortunately close our indoor dining earlier this week because of the local spikes. Yep. So I would love to encourage anyone listening and watching that you can order online and you can order ahead and it'll just be ready for you to pick up. And that's like an easy peasy way to like continue supporting us, but like maybe you're not like super comfortable, you know, being inside a store. And we also do curbside. So we will happily bring it out to your car and you don't even have to step inside. So
I'm going to go over there this afternoon and
do it.
Because I'm right by Midtown, so that's awesome. All right, so my two random questions. What's the last real vacation you took?
Oh, you guys. Oh, my God.
In a while.
Last real vacation I took. So, last 4th of July, so a year ago, we went to Asheville, North Carolina. And that was like a nice little getaway. I will say this. I'm a new mom. I say I'm a new mom. He's going to be 4 in November, but it's still hella new to me. So I still claim it. But he's going to be 4 in November, right? And so that Asheville vacation was the first vacation we took in like 3 years. And so so Asheville 1 year ago, and it does not look like we're taking a vacation.
No time soon. And then if you had to pick, because I write down questions.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, what is your fondest memory of Tallahassee? And you've created a lot.
Yeah. So I'm going to be mushy. Yay,
I like mushy.
My husband and I, we met on eHarmony. And so we met like later in life, like to us, right? Like early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. And we met at eHarmony on eHarmony. And our first face-to-face was at Black Dog Coffee in Lake Ella. And I'm telling you, coffee's always been a part of
I was about to say, you're just bringing this whole interview full circle for me. Thank you.
And so I didn't realize they closed, and so they were closing that night. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet this guy. Like, I don't know what he wants. I don't know what. So I just got like 2 iced coffees or whatever. But I can remember like watching him walk up from that parking lot and just like I can remember the creases in his shirt. I can just remember like the light in his eyes.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And then we spent 2 hours walking around Lake Ella just talking.
Nice. I like walking and talking. That's a good one.
Yeah, he asked if he could hold my hand. He's gonna hate that I shared that, but it's true.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show and for sharing all of your experiences and your love of connecting in Tallahassee. And I think Chrissy in the background says, "Oh, it has been such a pleasure to really get to know you better, and I look forward to watching all of the things that you and RedEye do. So, if you ever need anything, reach out and I'm here to help. I totally believe in you and your mission. So thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you, Audra. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. It's been fun.
Yes, it was a great conversation. Join us next week for another edition of Tuesdays with Audra, and I look forward to seeing all of you there. Certainly reach out, support RedEye, get some, curb to go, and share the love with the community, and always look to see all the new things that Barby and RedEye are doing and the collaborations that they're doing. It's just amazing. Try out their new collaboration with Street Chefs and get some breakfast delivered.
Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club. Perfect name.
Yeah.
We will see you all next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.